Interest rates are going crazy with Russia infiltrating Ukraine, the cost of the living crisis, inflation. Let's cut the crap. Is now really a good time to invest in the UK property market? Well, change actually equals opportunity. It's just often we don't know where the opportunity is. So before we jump into what it is, let's look at the general trends that have been going on. And COVID was the trigger. If you like, that caused a lot of different things. So you think, well, yeah, we had a lockdown, we had all these issues going on, but they actually caused a lot more. So that lockdown, what that did is it shut off demand completely because we actually couldn't buy properties. Solicitors were home with their families trying to work their best, and they really did try their best. Estate agents legally had to lock down. If you remember, it was 3 months of complete lockdown. You could go for a daily walk if you were lucky, right? And all of these meant that the supply chain was broken, but demand was flatlined, absolutely flatlined. And then suddenly, there's this big influx, and then it's bye. And then of course, we had the things like bounce back loans and C-bills. If you don't know what that is, especially bounce back loans, the government basically just said, hey, we'll give you 50 grand if you've pretty much got a company. There's some bits around it, but we won't keep you liable to it. So just have 50 grand and help your business grow. As long as you say it's for growth, have 50 grand. And I know people that went, well, I've got 8 companies sat there doing nothing. Yeah, I'll turn over X amount, give me 50 grand per company. I actually saw a post from a 19-year-old kid saying, I've made no more than £700 in my business ever, and I've just been given 50 grand. Honestly, with a little laughing emoji. Now, what happens when you give most people money? Like, honestly, think about your own behavior. I can pretty much guarantee if you earn 30 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, well, to be fair, you're probably different being on an investment channel, right? But most people, when you earn more money, you don't really save more money. What do? You get a nicer house, you get a nicer car, you spend more money. And so what do people do when suddenly get 50 grand in their bank account? Tell you what, I'll use 10 grand of that for a nice little investment and I'll spend the rest. I deserve a treat, right? I'll go on holiday. I'll buy a laptop, I'll buy an iPad, or as we saw, buy watches. The price of those things went mental. Rolex did very bloody well through COVID, right? Everyone needed a Rolex watch straight away. So we spend more money, but then we had to create that money in the first place. And that is where something called quantitative easing comes in. Now, what is quantitative easing? Well, we should call it fraud. The government calls it quantitative easing, but it's fraud. So imagine you just go, do you know what I need? Some fucking money. It's all right. Just go print some. It's not a problem. Now you think, oh, he's joking around, right? No, that is literally what happens. Nowadays, it's not so much the printing, it's more of a bit of ones and zeros encoded on a computer, but that is what quantitative easing is. Country needs more money. Tell you what we'll do is we'll get some bonds. That's what we'll do. We'll call them bonds and then people can buy them. But what we'll do is we'll print a load of money first, give it to the fuckers, and then we'll give them some opportunity to buy some bonds with the money we just printed. That's fraud, right? But on a country level, that is looking after the people. Nice job, Rishi. So what happens then is we've got this flood of money that we can spend. Now there's insatiable demand, and because everything is flatlined, we can't keep up with the supply. Problem right there. So we have something called inflation. Inflation is the devaluation of the pound, i.e. your pound is less valuable. And the reason for that is because things are becoming more expensive, so your pound buys less. Like butter is almost £4 in some supermarkets now. What the fuck? Still with me? Good, hit that subscribe button, then listen on. Target inflation is 2% a year, so some growth is good. 2% a year. We have been above 10%, and it's now coming down, and that's quite important with what I'm about to say. So, it has come back down because too much inflation is crippling. But yes in the comments if you felt the strain in some way through inflation over the last couple of years, because I definitely have, and I'm sure you have too. So, one of the key ways that we combat this is by increasing the interest rate. So you might have seen the Bank of England has increased it. Currently at the time of recording, it's 5.25% base rate. And one of them is controlled, the other is not. i.e. inflation is an outcome. Nobody's going, right, well, have 5% inflation this year, but we do dictate what it is and the interest rate, so we deliberately increase the interest rates to make it harder for everyone to buy something. Think about it. Most businesses facilitate their growth from debt. You buy property with debt, and so by increasing the cost of that debt, it makes you think twice. And actually, you even go, might be worth just keeping some money in the bank and saving then. So we spend less, it cools off the demand. Inflation then stabilizes and comes down. Hopefully I've explained that in a way we can all understand. But actually there's a secondary consequence of that within the property market, and it's really, really positive. So what happens on the purchase side is we see loss in demand. So in May 2023, for example, the UK property market dropped by 0.4%. Now, if that happens in growth, by the way, 0.4% a month, that's just very standard. Nobody talks about it. And yeah, go back and look at the media in the May of 2023 and see what they were saying. Property's crashing around us. Oh my God, we're gonna lose everything. Now, it has to put some strain in the market for sure. It really has put some strain, especially on the cash flow. If you've had some mortgages come up, and I don't wanna make too much of a joke of it because it really is a strain, but you know what I'm saying here, okay? The rate has practically doubled. I've had no choice but to pay them, but being an Airbnb operator, I have the luxury of passing that increase straight on to the guests to maintain my profit margin. A luxury you don't have renting to tenants, and another reason why I stay clear of that low margin game. More on that another day. I hate tenants, by the way, just in case you have missed out over the years. Too many bad experiences. But what happens is most people get scared, and you might have heard this quote: be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. Well, right now people are fearful. So if you're one of the 5%, and I'm gonna make the assumption that you are because you're watching this channel, now is the time to be greedy. Because what this does is, you've got two options. You can negotiate better prices in some of the lower value areas, and if you've only got 30, 40 grand, you might have to go to those lower value areas, and that's great. Give it a bit of discount, all of that, but it's not really what I'm interested in, because I'm not really interested in getting 5, 10, 15 grand of a property. What I'm looking for is access to the best areas. These are areas that over the last couple of years we aspire to. We have not just been able to access without paying 20, 30 grand above market value. And people were paying and paying and paying because money's cheap. And the government does a lot to help sell the existing stock, but doesn't do a lot to help there to be new stock. So for example, this year we're targeting 300,000 new homes. We hit 233,000. So some consequences of this new opportunity is those areas become available, and you might think, well, short-term pain, and it is short-term pain. We're going to suffer for 6 months, but I want to take full advantage of what's coming next. So you might think, okay, what's coming next? Well, first of all, Barratt Homes, one of our biggest developers in the UK, have confirmed that they are dropping their supply production by 20%. Just think logically, we're already underperforming by 70,000 homes a year. That is 25%-ish. So we are already underperforming, we already have a massive undersupply, and now one of the biggest providers is confirming that they're going to provide 20% less. Think about that. So demand drops a little, supply drops a little. We already don't have enough. Also, the benefit most people don't think about, and it's horrible this, but it's the reality of the commercial investment. If less people are able to buy, then more people have to rent. There's already a massive drastic undersupply of property in the rental sector. We currently have a 99% occupancy rate. That's not me, that's the whole of the UK. 99% filled on buy-to-let properties, only 1% available. That's not just good for people, and I'm saying it like that because it's great for investors. Now, I mentioned earlier, I don't play in that territory. However, my niche service accommodation strategy also benefits from this lack of supply because people always need to travel. Businesses in all economic cycles need to keep operating. So lack of choice equals high prices, and with my game, you don't need to be 70, 80% occupied. I'm making 3 times more than buy-to-lets at 50% occupancy. But as a human being, it really feels shit sometimes. But what happens is, because the increased cost of facilitating a tenant or guest prices go up, and being blunt about it, when those interests go down, when the production goes down, when did you see it that landlords go, hey, I'm making another £200-300 profit a month, so I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna drop my rates. Yeah, never. Now, I'm being honest, I'm not blaming you, I'm not going to either. It's just the way the world is and people are scared. But actually, for those of us that are ready to attack, the opportunity is now. Now, I like keeping these videos ideally below 15 minutes. I feel like I could talk for hours, but the thing is, I was going to talk about financial considerations. You need to get your personal situation in line. And I thought, you know what, instead of trying to do that in a broad stroke sense, which will be so unique, instead what I thought is I will offer up some free one-to-one strategy sessions. Now, I can't do this for everyone on this channel. There's thousands of you on here. I'm very blessed to have all of my subscribers. But if you are watching and you want to subscribe, it will help me out a lot. If you hit that subscribe button, it's also a measurement of how much value you're getting from this video. And what I want to offer you guys is a free one-to-one strategy session. Now, the selfless part of this is you will get a personalized strategic approach of how you can take advantage of this opportunity right now. The benefit for me is by the end of that one-to-one phone call, I'll be able to decide with my team, can we actually help you by helping you build a property portfolio? And we can make some money from that as well. So it's a win-win situation. I can't do that for everyone. It's only for you if you've got the right mindset. If that is you and you want to have a free strategy session, put Airbnb in the comments. Let me know if you did get some value from this video. I think it is generally one of the best opportunities. I've been investing for about 10 years and this is the best opportunity that I've ever seen. It's just most people don't feel that, and actually every single person that's ever invested that I know of has always said, I wish I'd started sooner. Whether that's 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. Well, unfortunately, we can't go back in time, but you can make a decision today that's going to impact you of tomorrow. I hope this is valuable. It's kind of a unique video, but I love giving my insights. I hope the value I perceive is actually value to you. If it has and you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. If you really got value from this and you think it will help other people in your life, just hit the share button. Share it on your portal, share it on your Facebook, whatever it is. It really helps the channel grow. And hey, tap that like button and I'll see you in the next video.